afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Patriot Academy Nation of the Color Ceremony. I'm Sergeant Tony Evans, Master of Ceremonies with Major Bill. Please stand for the arrival of the official party and remain standing for the invocation and the national anthem.
Let us pray. We thank you, O Lord, that you are God of a second and a third chance. We're fully more grateful for the foresight 4 years ago of General Vaughn and others whose wisdom and compassion gave young men and women of our country a chance to better themselves as citizen soldiers in the Army National Guard. Bless, we pray, O Lord, everything that's done in this service. Bless General Martin, General Tooley, our Commandant, Command Sergeant Major, returning staff, cadre, and educators. However, today, we pray a double portion of your blessings upon our returning soldiers, their family members, friends of the institution, and those student soldiers who wanted to be here but could not be here because of distance and time, some of which who are presently deployed serving our country and guarding freedom. Please be with every aspect of this ceremony, O Lord, and we will thank you and praise you for all that you've done. In your holy name we pray and ask it. Amen and amen. Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleam, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight, o'er the ramparts we watched, where so gallantly streamed, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave? Parade ready.
Thank you, Chaplain Swisher. Ladies and gentlemen, please be seated. Specialist Stephen Smith, a member of the Patriot Academy staff, is presenting Mrs. Freeman and Mrs. Ryans a bouquet of flowers. Red is the color of the heart and reflects the love and concern that they have shown for our soldiers and their families. Their roses are in full bloom, symbolizing the beauty and the fulfillment of their time with the Patriot Academy. Thank you to Mrs. Ryans and Mrs. Freeman. Ladies and gentlemen, Patriot Academy soldiers, Major General R. Martin Umbarger, the Adjutant General, Indiana National Guard. Sir?
Well, good afternoon, everyone. I've spoken a lot of places. I will say this: I've never spoken to those behind me. I will do my best. I know I've got a lot of wonderful friends, great community leaders, great supporters of this facility, of this academy. But actually, in front of me, the most important of which is our graduates, our soldiers, men and women that have attended this academy have made a decision to change their lives, and they come down here and they did. I want to thank all of you for wherever. I know we've got multiple states represented in front of us all today. And thank you all guys and gals for coming back. Congratulations again for your accomplishment. We're extremely proud of you. We're proud of you wearing that uniform of your nation, serving your nation with distinction. And again, welcome home. We said it when you graduated. This is your school. This is your academy. No matter what happens today, you are alumnus of here. You've got a high school diploma from Indiana. You earned it. Congratulations. And I know we've got also in the ranks some of our staff that's here. The Mayor Campbell, Sue, my good friend, Mayor Wright, Mayor Lieberman, 3 mayors. Think about that. And as we have this event today, we have those guys that are leading their communities around here with many obligations and many commitments, but they elected on a Saturday to come here as we say goodbye to this academy. So I can't thank you all enough. Chris Hurdle, Chris, a great leader in this community that has been a big part of not only this academy, but you were a big part of us getting the Scattertech itself started back in 2004. You know the background of that. Roger Bingham of Ivy Tech, Roger out of Columbus, the great support that you give to all communities and helping them get a skill and helping us as those that get this degree here, they still have to go on and they're citizen soldiers. They don't have to go back to a full-time job, so it's our job to help them find it. And Ivy Tech has just been a leader. Superintendent Terry Sargent. Terry, how wonderful it is to think that a superintendent that has the obligation to educate the citizens of this county, and yet when we came in here, you embraced this academy just like it was your own. You took pride in it. You made all of us feel like we were part of your district, a part of your county. I couldn't thank you enough. You know, that didn't automatically happen. In some places, someone, another person might have snubbed their nose and said, we don't deal with those that drop out of school. But you did, and you've done a wonderful job, and you see the results of that. Major General Cliff Tooley. Cliff, I can't thank you enough. I hope everyone behind me that knows about this facility, about this academy, quite frankly, through the heart and soul of the vision. Just a wonderful guy. And his wife, Connie's with us today. Connie, thank you for being here, always standing by his side. You know, just a little bit ago, we had an opportunity to recognize the Commandant on his great leadership here. He's just done an outstanding job. Lieutenant Colonel Freeman, he's your Commandant. He's probably 3/4 of the graduates of this school is under his command. Command Sergeant Writings. Thank you for your leadership and taking care of these soldiers, not only teaching about getting an education, but about teaching about being a man or a woman, a young man or a woman, and responsibility and pride and respect for the flag and community service and all those things we as guardsmen know is so important if you really want to wear this uniform to be a true citizen of our nation. That's what this academy has done, far above getting a high school diploma. And we want to thank Lieutenant Colonel Freeman, his wife Karen, Kim, with Command Sergeant Writing for being with us today and for all the great leadership that you have done. And we're real happy with Writing. You are our Command Sergeant Major here from Indiana. We're proud of that. And now Lieutenant Colonel Freeman has become an Indiana Guardsman. We couldn't be more excited for he and Karen to make this place their home. You know, as I was thinking about my comments today, it was really tough for me, to be quite frank. But, you know, I had to be a little bit reflective about the ceremony today. And if you'll permit me just a little bit, I know the guys are standing out there, but I had to think bigger than just this academy. I had to think back in 2004 when I just got appointed to be the Adjutant General. And I remember one of our meetings as we got together. when we talk about our soldiers that are just coming back from OIF 1, that means Operational Reactive Freedom 1, that had just gone into the fight and were on their way home. We were welcoming them back, and we knew we were going to be in this fight for some time, not just the active Army, but also the National Guard and the Army Reserve. We were going to be in this. It wasn't going to be an overnight. Matter of fact, it has come to be the longest conflict of our nation. And we were talking about, did we properly train them? Did we properly equip them? What could we do better? And it's those 2 battalions from Indiana came back home and they got off the plane. And I talked to them and I asked their leaders, did we properly train you, equip you? What can we do different? Because we're getting ready to send many more over. And they looked at me and General Tully almost to the man, to the woman, and said, we need more urban training. We're finding ourselves up there in cities. And if you know anything about the doctrine of the Army at that time was you don't go into cities, you bypass them, you isolate them, you stay out of them. And some of the largest facilities we had to train in an urban environment would be for maybe at the most a company. Probably more like a platoon to our civilian friends. That's a company's 131 soldiers, a platoon's 39. Very small. And we didn't have any place for battalion or brigade level to train in an urban environment. And at that time, we had just Camp Atterbury became a major mobilization station where we were training guys like you to get ready to go over and gals to go over and fight in an urban environment, this counterinsurgency fight. And we looked at each other and thought, how are we going to build something Camp Atterbury so quick so we can train like this? And we got told, Chris, you know what I'm talking about, Sue? You know what I'm talking about? We got told of this facility down here in southern Indiana, a little city out in the middle of the cornfields that had been here for 60 years. It had its own school. It had its own hospital. It had its own power plant. It had its own water plant. It had its own administration. It had underground tunnels. It was like made in heaven to create an urban training center like nothing you could have. And it was sitting here in our state. It made a decision because it had been an asset for 60 years, but times had changed. And those that were here during their lives were put out in communities. And I remember, Chris, I got to look at you, Chris, when we came down here, Joe 2 and we knew we couldn't make this thing work unless we had support of the local leaders in this community. Do you want us here or do you not? Do you want to be part of this or what? We knew it wouldn't work. And I remember that night when we gave a little thought of our vision of what we might be able to do. And then it was John Hall, the mayor, stood before you, and the county commissioners, and the economic development folks. Before we left that night, you called us back in and you said, let's do it. We're in. We're behind you. Let's build something unique out there. And let's go forward. So how do you do it from scratch? How do you do it from scratch? We ended up and thought we just got to get people out here to see this. We got our government in to support us to keep it operating at a small level. We begin to train a little bit on our Homeland Security mission. But we begin to get leaders of our Army to come out here and look at this facility. One of those leaders was Lieutenant General Clyde Vaughn, the director of the Army National Guard, the leader of 358,000 soldiers throughout and all over our 54 states and territories. And we brought him here and we showed him this facility and said, you know, the sky's the limit. We're only limited by our imagination. And we walked him through it, and he spent a day here, and he said, you really got something, as did many other leaders that came. General Petraeus has been here. I could go on and on with names, leaders, chief of staff of the Army, combatant commanders from all over. We've had every senator or state congressman, everyone we have shown this, because it is so special. You can't explain it to somebody. They got to see it. But as General Vaughn went back, remember a few months later, the phone rang in my office, and I said, General Vaughn's on the phone for me. And he goes, hey, Marty, I got an idea. You know, the chief of staff not the Chief of Staff, the Secretary of the Army brought me, the Chief of Staff of the Army, in and said, you know, we've got to do something about the epidemic in our nation about high school dropouts. And we think there's a lot of kids out there that just are so close to graduating, but they haven't quite got it. Something happens in their lives, they miss out on that last year, they get behind. And we think the military might be a way to save those folks and get them on the right track. And we want you to think out of the box. And when they tasked the Army to do it, he tasked the Army National Guard to do it. And General Vaughn said, hey, what do you think about that school set right in Muscatatuck? What do you think about that? Well, sir, you know, we're always open to ideas. We've got to think about it. The school was built in 1939. The school had been occupied for some time, but anyway, I hope that you will see this. It's probably one of the most modern schools in the entire state today. It's been totally remodeled. It's state-of-the-art. It's got an IT system second to none. We're so proud of it. And General Vaughn made a commitment. We're going to do this program. It's going to be called Patriot Academy. We're going to recruit high school dropouts. We're going to put them. They're going to go to basic training. We're going to try to change their lives. We're going to come here. Can you get your state to give them an accredited high school diploma? That's what we want. We don't want a GED. We want a high school diploma. Got with Governor Daniels, he got with Superintendent Bennett. We came down here, he looked at the curriculum, he supported us. Each one of you right now, you all got a high school diploma. It's not anything, it is that. And you can take it anywhere. When we turned this into what you wanted, it started out, the idea was to try to graduate 200 a year. The goal, figured you would be here somewhere between 7 to 9 months. And as we begin, and Colonel Freeman and the team begin to make it better and better and better, we found out that we can graduate even more than that. Because because of the ability to get online, you can do it, and some of you have done it in 90 days, 120 days. I guess what I'm trying to say, we're not here today casing the colors on this program because it failed. It has been an absolute success. In 3 years, we exceeded every expectation we could possibly have on this program. So I guess we're all sitting here wondering, as I have often, why are we saying goodbye to it? And it leads me to how I need to say I feel today. I don't feel sad because of what we've created and what we have accomplished and the lives that we have affected of those 505, but I am disappointed. Let's be less than honest to stand up in front of you and say anything less. I do feel disappointed. I do understand how things work. But I'm disappointed in the fact that a program of this success and how it's changed, we have to say goodbye to it. But I think I owe it to everybody, and I owe it to myself to try to figure this thing out. Because we fought long and hard, and we showed the data, and we think it supports everything. But really, if you really understand what we're dealing with here, if you go back and you look at the wars of this nation all the way back to the Civil War, World War I, World War II, Korean War, Vietnam War, Desert Shield, Desert Storm, after each one of those conflicts of our nation, there's always has been a downturn in the amount of dollars that is spent for the military and the number of personnel that's in the military of all services. It's just a phenomenon that is there. And this time is no different. But what you add to this time is a time in our nation that we've never seen, a $14 trillion debt. So you have two converging forces coming forth. We're out of Afghanistan, we're out of Iraq, we're soon to be out of Afghanistan. The number of deployments are going to decrease. We have our technology is much higher. The Army has already stated they're going to reduce 80,000 soldiers over the next 5 years, going from 570,000 to 490. A reduction in force. The amount of dollars, there was a $489 billion, I hate to put you all the numbers, but that's the amount of reduction in the defense budget over the next 10 years. trillion. You take those converting things together, so you got the United States Army out there knowing that we haven't had any strength problems, we're full up, we're 100%. So the amount of dollars that our military has allocated for recruiting has been cut in half. You can hope we can understand it. I hope our civilians here can understand what we're talking about. And then the Army made a decision, this is the time for us to raise the quality of those recruits even much higher. So anyone at all that's going to join the military must have a high school diploma before you graduate, before you're enlisted. We fought that. We think this is one program that ought to be a waiver on that. I know, Colonel, you're here. Better, I hope you take it back. I still say someday, let's mark it down in our book. I'll make a statement today before I close. We will want to come back. We as an Army will want to come back to a facility like this and recruit the great men and women in front of us that have graduated once again. And when that decision is made, we are here. I would just end with saying we're not done here. We're not disappointed. I said I was disappointed. We're not down. We've got a great facility here. We think out of the box. There's so many uses we think we can use this facility for that's really good, and it will be used. I have confidence in that. I can tell you a number of initiatives that we already have on the books right now to use this facility, many of which I'm not at the liberty to state because it's somewhat in that capacity where we can't talk about, but we have General Tooley and Colonel Wiles are working hard, and I want our elected leaders and our friends from the community know that this great school will be used in something we just don't know what yet, but there's things on the drawing board. Again, I remember speaking the day we opened this. I remember speaking with the Lieutenant Governor, with General Vaughn himself here, General Carpenter, when we opened this beautiful facility. Guys and gals, to all our cadre, we exceeded all our expectations. Congratulations on a fantastic job. We couldn't be more proud of you. Thank you to our community, but most of all, to those 505, congratulations, God bless you. And it's been an honor to be here with you today. Thank you.
Thank you, General Lombardo. Fellow soldiers, ladies and gentlemen, the Commandant of the Academy, Lieutenant Colonel William K. Freeman, Jr. Sir.
Thank you, General Lumber. Thank you, General Tooley. Thank you, General Coates. Thank you, mayors and other distinguished guests, cadre and educator staff, soldiers and families, for this final time I get to address you. I'll tell a couple stories, and I think that will emphasize a couple of these words I want to use: professionalism, dedication, and commitment. I'll tell a story about a gentleman at Walmart. His name is Jeff Day. He's a police officer in town. One day he comes out of Walmart, and his 4-year-old son is looking for a dollar so he can put in one of those machines to play a little game, you know, where the claw reaches in and grabs the prize out. He looks into his wallet and he only has $20 bills. One of our soldiers is standing there waiting for the cadre to come out of Walmart so they can head back to Patriot Academy. Sees what's going on, reaches in his wallet, pulls out a dollar bill and gives it to the little kid. And the little kid puts it in the machine, and you know, you never win at that thing. But anyway, this kid wins. And the story, the moral of the story is not that the kid won the game, but the soldier made a little kid smile because he won the game, because of the soldier. And Jeff Day sent me a note the next day and asked me, I forgot to read the soldier's name on his shirt, and asked me to find him. I thanked him for that moment. So the next day I found him and said thank you. That's just one of the things about our soldiers. The next story is about Private Dancer. I gave him a call about 2 months ago to find out how he did in AIT. And call him up and say, "How you doing, Dancer?" "Who's this?" "It's Colonel Freeman." I said, "Hey, sir." I said, "Well, how did AIT go?" He said, "It went well. I had to squirm away a little bit." He was our first sergeant here, our student first sergeant here for a while, and as soon as he got there, they made him student first sergeant. And he said they needed a little help, to get their soldiers right. And because what he learned here, he was able to do that. And he said they were very good because of it. That's the second story. Third story is about a CW3 warrant officer from the Marine Corps that I met about 2008. He taught junior ROTC at a high school. And I helped him there in Leavenworth do a project he was working on. And he said, "When you retire, you ought to do this." And that day I knew what I wanted to be when I grew up. So, a couple years later, I got to do this thing, where I get to help you guys earn your high school diploma. The reason I tell you that story is because he asked me what I thought about junior ROTC when I retired. And I said, "That sounds like a good idea. How much does it pay?" And he said, "It's not about the money." He said, "It's about the kid who comes up to you at the end of the school year and says, 'You're the reason I graduated.'" And Pat is popular. He said, "That's like a $10,000 bonus every time it happens." Guess what? I got to do that 283 times here. That makes me a millionaire. I said, "Thank you, guys." When the will is strong, and Jesus!
The Patriot Academy was activated in June 2009 by then Lieutenant General Clyde Hall, the former director of the Army National Guard. The National Guard Patriot Academy provided a robust educational program which offered enlistees from all 54 states and territories the opportunity to earn a high school diploma accredited by the state of Indiana. No other unit in the history of the United States had ever attempted such a mission. During the 3+ years of activation, 505 soldiers graduated, taking a big step toward a bright future. In addition to a strenuous course load, the students of this organization provided more than $15,000 of community service to the local and regional areas, and thousands of hours of support to the Muscatatuck Urban Training Complex. The following unit action is directed. Unit inactivated, assigned Control Group Headquarters, Department of the Army. Effective 12 January 2013. By order of Lieutenant General William E. Ingram, Jr., Director, Army National Guard. Ladies and gentlemen, please rise for the benediction.
Let us pray.
Dear Father, others and I thank you for the opportunity to serve alongside some of the best educators, most caring family and leadership, talented contractors, and inspiring student soldiers. As we end this chapter, close the book on the National Guard Patriot Academy for a season. We thank you for the fires that have been rekindled in the lives of our citizen soldiers who have walked these now quiet hallways, some of whom are present even today. We praise you that they are back home in their respective guard units, writing the very exciting chapters in their life's book. Father, we pray your continued blessing on each of us as we each go our separate ways now and move on to our next mission. May we not forget the lives that have been touched and the ones who changed. For each one gathered here today, may the wind be always at your back. May the Lord bless them and keep them. May your face always shine upon them. Reward them for their labors. Bless them for their service and give them rest. In God's precious name we pray and ask it all. Amen. Amen.
Thank you, Chaplain Swisher.
Patriot Academy, dismissed!
Specialist Scott Allen Mix. I graduated the first class through state of Indiana. I now am AGR, full-time recruiter out of Elkhart, Indiana.
Fantastic. Do you remember exactly what date you graduated?
I do not.
Okay.
It was late May.
But it was 10?
Yep, it was the very, very first class.
Okay. Fantastic. What have you been doing since getting away from the Patriots?
Well, when I first got back to my unit, I was assigned to the 293rd out of Fort Wayne. Shortly after I got back, I went to Air Assault School. I got selected to go to the sniper section. I was in the sniper section for a year. After I left the sniper section, I was a heavy machine gunner for right about a year. I worked out of the education office, and now I'm a full-time recruiter.
Fantastic. What was your experience at the Patriot Academy like?
My experience was rough at first because it was a brand new program. It quickly picked up. Everything that I really have to do with my military career roots back to the Patriot Academy and what I learned here. I credit pretty much everything to Sergeant First Class Kohlinger. That was my mentor, and everything that I learned, I did learn from him. So it pretty much established who I was today.
So what would your life be like if you hadn't come to the Patriot Academy?
Honestly, I have no idea where I'd be at. It would I would probably not be anywhere close to where I am now. I don't know. I can't even thank anybody enough for what this program has brought me.
And what does the program mean to you? Now, you're here, you're seeing it closed.
Right.
Looking back on what it means to you.
Well, I mean, first of all, I gave me my high school diploma, and as you can see in today's society, you're nothing without a diploma. So it just kind of sets me ahead of everybody else that doesn't. Not only that, it instilled discipline, and I learned how to be a man, how to be a father, a husband, and it taught me everything that I needed to be responsible and grown up.
What do you think when you first heard the academy was closing?
I was pretty sad. I was looking forward to employment here, so I could train young individuals that were in my situation, so I could actually relate to them and what I went through and how tough it could be at times. But I really was looking forward to this program excelling. And I was happy to hear that 505 graduates did graduate from here, so that did make me happy, because when I first came in, there was only 35. So it was a big number for me. And this program has been extremely monumental.
So are you going, as far as you know, are you going to stay in the military?
I'm going to make it a career, yes.
And all because you went through the Patriot?
Exactly. At first, I was going to do 6 and out, and then after this academy, it kind of showed me what it was like to be a soldier and to be a man. And I really have nothing else besides the military.
Michael Corey Yonkman, specialist. I graduated May 2012.
So you're a pretty new graduate.
Correct, sir.
Before you went through the Patriot Academy, what was your life like?
It was pretty, it just didn't have any meaning. Like, you just ever feel like you're just walking down the hallway and you just see all those doors closed in front of you and you just don't know what you want to do anymore. And that's kind of what it was just like. It was just walking basically in a void. I can't really explain it to anybody. I just felt like I was helpless at the time, and I dug myself a hole, and I needed to get out of it.
And then you got into the Patriot Academy. What was it like? What's it been like since the Patriot Academy?
It's been a lot more opportunities been presented. Since I'm now a full-fledged soldier, people look at me differently. I carry my posture straight forward. I'm very I can't describe it. I'm basically just not a kid that acts childish anymore, and I hold myself to a higher standard than my normal peers would. I try to be professional at all times. I don't try to downgrade people. I always try to build them up. That's what I look forward to. The Patriot Academy taught me that even the worst people, there's always good hope in them. So, because it's a program where high school dropouts were, some weren't bad, some weren't good, but then once they came down and they put on that uniform, they're like, I stand for a higher purpose. This higher purpose is to serve the people of the United States, and I fully believe that.
How do you feel when you heard it was closing?
I was actually devastated. This place gave me a reason to smile. It was like told I was a man without a smile. I graduated here. I actually have a reason to smile now. And it saddened me, because all the opportunities that will be left out for those other kids out there, they'll never be able to experience what I've experienced. And I hope one day that it does reopen and they get back into this program. This is a very phenomenal program. I can't be more blessed to be involved in it.
What did it mean to you to come back for the final flight, Casey?
It meant a lot. At first, when I graduated, I was like, I'm not coming back here. I just graduated, I got my diploma, and I'm going on. And then I was gone. I was like, man, the more lessons I'm learning, the more I had to be thankful about this place. And I kept on walking forward and forward. I'm like, I'm going to this graduation. It means a lot to me. I want to be here when it closes. I was here when it was done. I feel like I should be here when it's closed. It gave me the opportunity. I should at least give it the time and what it deserves.
How's that? You guys are going to do horrible by the end of the night.
Tell us, what's your hometown?
South Lyon, Michigan.
And where are you living now?
Kalamazoo, Michigan.
Okay. And when did you graduate from Patriot Academy?
August 24th, 2011.
See, somebody knows the exact date. I like that. That's good.
That's not the day I left, though.
Of course not. You gotta have the crossover after that. What was your life like before you came to the Patriot Academy?
It was pretty much like a downward spiral. I mean, I wasn't doing well. Like, I dropped out of high school. I was getting involved with some bad people. And really, like, the military was, like, the only thing for me, like, to really, like, get me, like, into shape and to, like, you know, with some good people and, like, help me get away from, like, all the negativity. And, I mean, I learned a lot here. Like, I learned a lot about the Army. Like, I think soldiers that go through here, other than, like, just basic training, AIT, like, you learn so much more and, like, you're more, like, well-equipped with, like, knowledge and everything. Like, when I went to, like, after I came from here to, like, AIT, like, I just felt like I knew so much more than everybody else.
And what's your actual military job?
I'm a 74 Delta, which is a nuclear, biological, radiological, chemical specialist.
There you go. Now, you went through Patriot Academy. What did you feel? How did you feel when you first heard it was going to close?
What was that?
How did you feel when you first heard it was going to close?
I was a little disappointed. Because everybody's missing out on a really big opportunity. Like, I don't know, if it wasn't for this place, I don't know where I'd be right now. But I wouldn't be in the Army. I'd probably be smoking and joking somewhere with some bad people. So, it sucks that a lot of people aren't going to be offered this opportunity. It's really unfortunate it's closing down. Like, when I first got here, like, I was really depressed and down. Like, I didn't want to be here, but, like, eventually, like, a lot of, like, NCOs and, like, cadre and, like, the educators, they really motivated me to, like, continue on. Like, I wanted to quit so many times, but, like, everybody just, like, pushed me, and eventually I just, like, got it through my head, and I was like, all right, I need to do this for me, and, like, I don't want to disappoint my family or anything, because, like my family's, like, the ones that actually pushed me to do it, so.
What made you want to come back to the flag casing ceremony all the way from Michigan?
I just really wanted to, pay my respects to, like, everybody that, like, helped me out, and, I just wanted to, like, get together with everybody, like, all my friends, all the people that, like, helped me, like, a lot of, like, my peers helped me out a lot, so I really needed, like, I don't know, like, closure, I guess, just to, like, let everybody know how I'm doing, make sure everybody else is doing good.
First, what is your full name and where are you from?
My name is Andrew Kennedy, and I'm from Rockford, Illinois.
Okay, and you?
I'm Jenalyn Obach, and I'm from McHenry, Illinois.
Okay. Jenalyn?
Jenalyn.
Spell that, please.
Jennalyn.
Okay, easy enough. Now, what is your military job now?
74 Delta, Seaburn.
And who are you with?
My unit?
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to be with the 135th Chemical Company.
Okay. All right, and what is your job?
68 Whiskey Medic, and I'm with the 708th Medical Company.
Okay, out of?
North Riverside, Illinois.
Okay, fantastic. We'll go with Kennedy first. What was your life like before you got here to the Patriot Academy?
Honestly, not good. I didn't have a job. Had problems finding a job.
Mm-hmm.
I literally just sat around and did nothing, and then got presented with this opportunity, and so I decided to take it. And so far, it's turned out good. So.
Did it really make a difference in your life to come through Patriot Academy?
Oh yeah, came back. When I graduated, before I left, about a week before I left, I got a call for a job opportunity, and but it was only seasonal. And then after that, now I have a full-time job, and just waiting. And I'm going to start school next spring, hopefully.
Fantastic. Where at?
Probably just Rock Valley College for right now, just a little community college.
Fantastic. Now, when you got here, first of all, when did you graduate?
November of 2011.
And when did you graduate?
I graduated August of 2012.
Okay. What was life like for you before you got here?
Well, I wasn't going anywhere fast. I was just living at home, didn't have a job. I wanted to join the military, and the only way I could get in was with a diploma. And my only option was really to join the National Guard, and I liked the option of the Patriot Academy, so I did it.
Did it make a difference in your life?
Absolutely.
What are you doing now?
Well, I work a full-time job, and I'm going to school online.
Mm-hmm. After you graduated from Patriot Academy, when we're talking about life getting better, do you see your life as being as good as it would have been without the Patriot Academy?
If I wouldn't have came here, no, I'd probably probably have a GED by now, which isn't too great.
Mm-hmm.
And I'd probably, if I had a job, not something very good. So.
You think your life would have been as good?
Absolutely not. Probably wouldn't have a job. I wouldn't be in school because I couldn't afford it. I don't know where I would be. I'd just be doing the same thing, living at home and trying to get by.
How'd you feel when you first heard the Patriot Academy was closing?
I was disappointed because I think it's a wonderful opportunity. I think every soldier should, or I think everybody who goes through here just like becomes a better soldier and outshines during AIT and everything like that.
What made you actually want to come back to the flag casing?
One of the big things was I wanted to see a lot of my buddies, that I haven't seen in so long. And I thought it'd be a pretty cool opportunity to actually see a flag casing that I've never seen it before. I've never seen the unit close down. Thought it'd be pretty cool to see.
Did it make you sad to see the place close?
Yeah, it made me sad. I was here whenever they announced that it was going to close down, and You know, there was rumors going around that it was going to close, and nobody believed them. But whenever they actually did, everybody was kind of dumbfounded that it was actually happening. And so, I don't know. It was a surprise to me, and I thought that they were just going to keep this thing going. But
Do you wish they would have?
honestly, yes, because I mean, not gonna lie to you, when I was here, I had times that I hated it, and I know she can say the same thing. But I mean, looking back on it, I can honestly say I don't regret it, and that it was a good opportunity, and I'm glad I took it.
Specialist Zachary Scott Coyle.
Okay. And when did you graduate from Patriot Academy?
It was July 2011.
Okay. You're from where?
Nashville, Tennessee.
Okay. Fantastic. Now, what is your job down there in Nashville? Military job in Nashville?
I'm a chaplain's assistant.
And with what unit?
30th CSSB.
Okay. What was your life like before you went through the Patriot Academy?
Going down the wrong path. I quit school. And I saw this opportunity and I took it. Completely changed my life.
So coming to the Patriot Academy really made a big difference for you?
Yes.
What kind of difference did it make for you?
Just as far as motivation to find a job. I'm currently working for Williams County Sheriff's Office now. Never would have dreamed that. Before I did a lot of partying and things like that, and that's why I dropped out of school. And completely changed me.
Completely changed everything you did.
Yes.
Do you think you would have gotten your high school diploma without coming here?
I never would have gotten a second chance.
How did you feel when you found out Patriot Academy was closing?
I couldn't believe it. It's an amazing program, and it gives people like I was a second chance. I just couldn't believe it.
Do you wish it would have stayed open?
Yes, definitely. Giving a lot more people, like my younger brother, a chance to get their diploma.
What is your military job?
I'm a 92 Whiskey, a water treatment specialist.
With who?
With the 158 Brigade Support Battalion.
Out of?
Arizona.
Where in Arizona?
They're stationed in Phoenix. I currently live in Florence.
Okay, so you're out of Florence. When did you graduate from the Patriot Academy?
I graduated last year, 2011, in July.
Okay. What was your life like before you came to the Patriot Academy?
I really didn't have much respect for anyone or myself, and I didn't like school, so I just ended up quitting school. I didn't get expelled, or I didn't drop out because I didn't fill out the paperwork. I just quit going, and eventually I just took my name off the roster. And believe it or not, the commercials got me, watching those commercials. And I told my mom, I think I might want to join the Army. My mom says, okay, let's start with the National Guard, because I don't need you getting deployed just yet. And so I talked to my recruiter, Sergeant Spina, and he just tells me about the Patriot Academy since I didn't have a high school diploma. I was like, really? I can get paid to go to high school? I've been talking about this since second grade. And just wondering, and then went to basic. At first had a little bit of a rough time actually going out and doing this stuff, but I never missed a single day there. And that just helped me a little bit along, and then I came to the Patriot Academy, just fresh out of nowhere, wondering what's going on, getting in process, the dreaded in processing, taking forever. And then I started classes, and at first it went pretty well, but then I hit some hard times. And what happened was I started getting down on myself. I was failing, just like quizzes and tests. And eventually I just kind of gave up, and I went to the hallway, and I literally started crying. And Chaplain Swisher was a big influence on me. Came and just said, "What's wrong?" I said, "I'm tired of being a failure, sir. I was a failure my whole life. I'm done doing that now." And he just said, "It's going to be all right. I'm going to be here for you. You can do this." And he's just always helped me. My favorite cadre was Sergeant Reed, and he always helped me, no matter what. He's kind of like a second dad to me. And eventually I hit that 60%, and something just snapped in my head, and I just went on the ball rolling with 10 credits, 4 years of high school to get in 13 months. And then I finally graduated, and I was actually able to tell my mom I had actually gotten my education. And it was actually a surprise because my mom hurt my ears and screamed into the phone. It was tough, but I did it. and this helped me on my way to AIT. I got undergraduate, I was class president. Just a big help with leadership skills, pretty much everything. My cadre at AIT were very impressed with this place.
How did you feel when you first heard the academy was closing?
I was sad. I was actually here when I heard it. Lieutenant Colonel Freeman actually said that it was going to be shut down. And it disappoints me because it was such a successful place. Just to go, they take care of you, they feed you, they give you a place to live. Just give you an education and then the attention that you need to get on through it. Just, I don't know. I don't know why they would shut it down. I heard it was budget cuts, but I don't think this place deserves to be shut down.